It's time for Dodger Baseball. Live from Dodger Stadium, Prime Ticket presents the Dodgers as they take on the St. Louis Cardinals. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant Thursday evening to you. Welcome to Game 1 of the 4-game series with the Birds and, of course, the wild card battle. The Dodgers trailing St. Louis by 1, and this is Game 1 of a big 4-game series. Dodgers hold an edge. They've won 4 of 7, winning all 3 here earlier in May, but then losing 3 out of 4 in St. Louis. The pitching for tonight, Josh Beckett will be on the mound, 2-2 in his career against the Cardinals, but actually you have to go back to 2003 to find out his last victory against them. For St. Louis, it'll be Lance Lynn, a 14-game winner who has pitched very, very well on the road. He is 7-3 away from Busch Stadium. We'll get to the ball game. We'll have a whole lot more coming up right after this. Was brought to you by Hyundai. Logic and emotion agree. The Hyundai Sonata is amazing. Visit your Southern California Hyundai dealer today. By AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. By CarMax, start the search for your next car at CarMax. CarMax, start here. And by Kettle One.
And we're moments away from first pitch here at Dodger Stadium. The Cardinals and the Dodgers, the start of 4, and what a race it is going to be down the finish. 19 games left. Our NL wild card presented by Kia. You see Atlanta firmly in first place. St. Louis 1 game up on LA, followed by Pittsburgh and Milwaukee and Philadelphia right there. Out here in center field alongside Kenny Lofton and Steve Lyons. And you know what? It's going to come down to pitching. And Adrian Gonzalez said you got to win 3 out of 4. So who do you think has the advantage in this series based on the pitching matchups?
Well, the pitching matchup, I think at this point you have the advantage to Josh Beckett, a guy who's been here down the stretch, understand what it takes during this time when you need a win. And Lynn, I'm not sure if he's ready for that yet.
You know, Joe Kelly's pitched well for the St. Louis Cardinals, but Capuano's been even better here at home than Joe Blanton, who has pitched much better, and then Kershaw finished up on Sunday. I think you have to give the Dodgers the advantage here, not only pitching-wise, but also playing at home. They haven't played well at home, but St. Louis is on the road. They haven't played well here.
Josh Beckett, big game pitcher. He loves moments like this. This is why the Dodgers got him. His last home start, his first, pretty good. See how number 2 goes. Vin has the call next.
The box. Get the All-American Jack Combo for only $4.99 plus tax at participating stores. By San Manuel Indian Bingo and Casino. Play $250,000 Sports Watch football at San Manuel. It's free to play. And by Resident Evil Retribution in 3D in theaters September 14th. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant Thursday evening to you, wherever you may be. Welcome to Dodger Stadium, Game 1 of a 4-game series with a battle for the second wild card. On a gorgeous summer's evening, we have a canopy of blue with sketches of pink like feathers up there above, and the St. Louis Cardinals arrive to begin the series. Game 1 will also be the 8th meeting of the year with Mike Matheny's team. Dodgers have a slight edge. They've won 4 of 7. However, they've lost 3 in a row to the St. Louis Cardinals. They opened up the year by beating the Cardinals 3 in a row, but it has turned around, and the Cardinals have beaten them 3 of the last 4. We'll take a look at a Cardinal lineup. John Jay opens up in center field, Matt Carpenter at third base, and Matt Holliday in left field. Alan Craig at first base hits cleanup. Yadier Molina is behind the plate. Carlos Beltran is in right field. Skip Schumacher will be at second base. Daniel Descalso, the shortstop, and Lance Lynn, the pitcher. On the mound for the Dodgers, Josh Beckett is 1-2 this year. With the Red Sox, he was 5-11. His last victory against the Cardinals has been a long time ago, 2003, and he is 2-2 lifetime. For Beckett, his earned run average is up more than 2 runs from last year, due in large part to his inability to get out of tough spots as well as he did a year ago. For instance, with runners in scoring position a year ago, the batters hit 193. This year, they're hitting 299 against him. So we'll see how Josh goes tonight against a Cardinal ball club that has not been playing well, playing exactly like the Dodgers. They've lost 6 of 7, 3 in a row. In fact, since the All-Star break, with Carlos Beltran pretty much banged up, they are 29 and 28. Of course, all of St. Louis is hoping for last year's results, because last year, on August the 25th, Matt Holliday and company were 10.5 games behind Atlanta, and they went on a run where they won 23 and lost only 9, won the wild card, and went all the way. John Jay, left-hand hitter, up there to lead off, hitting .316 and takes ball 1. Jay, 4 home runs, 31 runs batted in. From Miami, Florida, went to the university, and the Cardinals drafted him in the 2nd round. The 1-0 pitch on the way. Jay hits it foul down the left field line. He has a lot of movement with his hands and bat. He's tried to curl it down a little bit, but it's become a hitting mechanism. In fact, it's even worse when he was in college compared to the way he's been doing it in the big leagues. But he swung the bat in his hand so much in college, they call him the helicopter swing. So 1 ball and 1 strike, trying to hold the bat parallel to the ground, and he's tired of waiting and backs out. Jay is 5'11", 200-pounder. Stole 20 bases 2 years ago in the minors. He takes a fastball that runs away, and they count 2 balls and 1 strike. So John Jay, in his very first 100 bats in the big leagues, hit .370. 2-1 pitch. He takes a strike at the knees, and they count 2-2. So Josh Beckett, the veteran out of Austin, Texas, signed with the Marlins back in 1999. The 2-2 pitch on the way, off speed, whacked right on the ground to Adrian Gonzalez. He takes it to the bag, and we have 1 away. We'll set the Dodgers with the leather. They shape up this way. Victorino, Kemp, and Deetier in the outfield. Cruz, Ramirez, Ellis, and Gonzalez on the infield. And behind the plate, as usual, A.J. Ellis handling Josh Beckett. So 1 away, and the batter now will be Matt Carpenter, hitting .305. Left-hand batter with 5 home runs, 43 runs batted in. Matt takes off the plate. 1 ball and no strikes. Matt Carpenter, no relation to the famous Cardinal pitcher Chris Carpenter. Now the 1-0 pitch on the way. Matt has a look, and that's a little low. Matt's been on the DL. He had a right oblique strain. That put him out for a month. The dreaded words, when you hear that, you figure whoever has the oblique strain will be out at least a month. That's usually the way it is. He's from Sugar Land, Texas. Hits a slow roller to the right side. Mark Ellis with plenty of time to throw him out. And we have 2 down in the first inning. And Matt Holliday coming up. Matt Holliday, steady, one of the solid players in the big leagues, hitting .301. A lot of power, 26 home runs, 94 runs batted in. Of all the things to give you an indication of what kind of a player Matt Holliday is, what kind of a man, he had an appendectomy last year on April 1. He takes a strike. April 1, the appendectomy was performed. He scored a winning run 9 days later. He is one tough hombre. Out of Stillwater, Oklahoma. And the strike 1 pitch, Matt takes a little high. 1-1. Matt, among other things, was a batting champion back in 2007, and we will always associate his name with one of the longest home runs ever hit here at Dodger Stadium. Here's the 1-1 pitch on the way. Holliday fouls it back, fastball, and it's a 1-2 count. During a day game, Matt Holliday cleared the back wall of the Dodger bullpen and went out where the Three Sisters stand, those 3 large palm trees, and they estimated 481 feet. That was back in 2006. One of the biggest blasts in the history of the park. The 1-2 pitch on the way to Matt swung on and fouled away. So it's still 1-2 the count to Matt Holliday. Josh Beckett has only faced a couple of the Cardinals. One of them is Holliday, who has hit .350 against him with a home run. So 1-2 the count to the big right-hand batter. He's 6'4". Beckett delivers a little high, and the count 2-2. Holliday has always hit well against the Dodgers throughout his career. So with 2 out, Beckett goes 2-2. Josh just looking down. Gorgeous evening. The temperature at the first pitch, 82 degrees. Now the 2-2 pitch on the way, and Beckett swings a high fly ball. It's playable. Matt Kemp camped underneath it, comes in a couple of steps, makes the catch, and that's that. So the Birds stay on the ground, go out 1-2-3. It's time now for Lance Lynn to go to work. At the end of half an inning, no score. Ground balls and a fly ball. We'll take a look at Don Mattingly's cards, and it reads this way: no surprises except the disposition of Andre Ethier, because you have Mark Ellis leading off at second base, and then Andre Ethier is hitting in the number 2 slot in right field, followed by Matt Kemp in center, Adrian Gonzalez at first, Hanley Ramirez at short, and Shane Victorino in left field. Luis Cruz hits 7th at third, A.J. Ellis the catcher, and Josh Beckett the pitcher. On the mound for the Cardinals, Lance Lynn. Big fella, he is 6'5", about 260 pounds, out of Brownsburg, Indiana, but he was signed by the Cardinals out of the University of Mississippi. He was originally drafted by the Mariners, didn't sign, and the Cardinals picked him up. He is 14-7, but the big thing with him, when he starts, the Cardinals win. The Cardinals are 17-8 when he starts, leading off Mark Ellis to take a strike, and the count 0-1. Lynn, however, pretty much a first-half pitcher, and fell into a slump whereby they actually dispatched him to the bullpen for a while. 11-3 in the first half of the season, but he's now 14-7. Ellis, meanwhile, hits one foul into the seats off to the right. 0-2 the count to Mark. Batting .268. He has 5 home runs, 28 runs batted in. So Ellis trying to get the Dodgers started in the right direction against Lance Lynn. Right-hander from the first base side of the rubber, comes with a good fastball at 95, and it's fouled back. So 0-2 the count to Mark. He'll be followed by Andre Ethier. Dodgers trying to shake themselves. Among other things, they've lost the ability to win, and especially at home. all of a sudden, since the All-Star break, they're 11-17 at home. The next pitch, a change, low and away, and a 1-2 count. Lance Lynn, before the All-Star break, had a fine earned run average, not quite 3.5, but since the break, his earned run average is 5.5. The 1-2 pitch, a line drive base hit to right field. Over to pick it up is Beltran. Holding on is Ellis. So the Dodgers open up with a single to right from Mark Ellis. And the batter now will be Andre Ethier. Couple of things to remember tonight. Number one, it's the battle for the second wild card. The Dodgers are trailing the Cardinals by 1, the Pirates by 2.5, Milwaukee and Philadelphia by 3. Milwaukee has won 18 of 22. The Phillies have won 7 straight, and the Phillies are leading the Astros 4-3 in the top of the 7th inning. So footsteps are coming, and it's coming from Philadelphia for sure. So here's Andre Ethier hitting .287, takes off the plate. Ball 1-0 to count. Since the trade deadline of the 31st of July, believe it or not, then again you probably feel it, the Dodgers are last in the major leagues in runs scored since the end of July. Ethier takes high and he has the count his way 2-0. The Cardinals would be in the middle of the pack, and the Giants have scored the most runs in the last month and a half. To explain why they are where they are. 2-0 the count to Andre Ethier. Lynn looks in to get a sign. Now Lance out of a stretch. Ellis poised off the bag at first. Ethier tries to hold up and succeeds on a pitch inside. Dana Demuth, the third base indicating no swing. So 3-0 the count with Matt Kemp on deck. So Lance Lynn, who started off like a house of fire, fell upon lean times, dispatched to the bullpen, and now comes back out of it. 3-0 pitch to Ethier is high, ball 4, and so Lynn is in a mess right away. First and second, and nobody out. One other note about Lance Lynn, maybe it's part psychological, but the first inning of his games that he's pitched this year, his earned run average just in the first inning is over 8. Ocho. And here's Matt Kemp. So 2 on and nobody out. No score in the first inning. Matt fighting it, as you know, hitting .312, 18 home runs, 56 runs batted in. He has hit 111 in his last 10 games and just 125 in 4 games against the Cardinals. Matt takes a strike and the count 0-1. For the Dodgers, among other things, since August the 1st, they've scored 3 runs or less in 20 games. That explains their record of 7-14. And over the last 5 games, the Dodgers have 2 hits with runners in scoring position, 2 hits in 30 at-bats. So Matt Kemp has a man in scoring position in Mark Ellis, and he has Ethier at first. 0-1 the count. Lynn out of his stretch and turns and looks back out at second base. For Lance Lynn, in case you're thinking about it, he has won 14 games and he has given up 14 home runs. He pitches pretty well on the road. He is 7-3 on the road, 7-4 at home. The strike one pitch coming up to Matt Kemp. Big right-handed delivers a roller wide to third, down to second for 1. The turn to first is in time. Double play. So Matt Kemp hits into the double play. Mark Ellis takes third. And the batter now will be Adrian Gonzalez. And for Matt, the struggle goes on. Matt Carpenter hurried it down to Shoemaker. And the play to first in plenty of time. Oh, the old-timers used to call that around the horn. So 2 out. Mark Ellis at third. Adrian Gonzalez hitting .229. had a tough series in Arizona. He did have a double to drive into, but he struck out 5 times in the 2 games. So Adrian trying to pick up Mark Ellis with 2 out, and the fastball on the outside corner for a strike, and the count 0-1. One other thing, since there is a runner at third, and Lynn by nature is a sinker ball pitcher, he does have 2 wild pitches. Lynn ready, and the strike 1 pitch, and that's a little low. 1 ball and 1 strike. They play the outfield towards left. Center fielder John Jay shading left center. Beltran almost straightaway right, so there's a pretty good gap in right center field. Now the 1-1 pitch on the way to Adrian Gonzalez. Fastball hit to the gap in left center on the dead run, and diving and missing is Jay. Scoring comes in Mark Ellis on a double by Adrian Gonzalez. So even though they had John Jay shaded just a tad towards left center, Gonzalez still found the gap. The ball maddeningly slicing away from Jay and backed up by Matt Holliday. Jay missed it by inches. Dodgers will take it. They'll also take a run, and they lead 1-0. So Gonzalez doubles in Ellis. 1-0 Dodgers. And the batter is Hanley Ramirez. Ramirez with 24 home runs. Mark Ellis talking to A.J. Ellis as he brings the run in. 1-0 Dodgers first inning. Remember, the Dodgers 1 game behind St. Louis in the race for the wild card. Big swing and a miss by Hanley on an off-speed pitch, and the count 0-1. Hanley Ramirez doesn't have much of a batting average to talk about, hitting only .251, but he has been the butter and egg man for the Dodgers, and he has been delivering. He has 19 game-winning RBIs. With a runner in scoring position, Hanley is batting .333, and he's got Gonzalez at second right now. Strike 1 pitch, he is way out in front of a slow breaking ball, and the count 0-2. So Lance Lynn, as the book said, struggles in the first inning, and sure enough, he gives up a run. He's a fastballer with a curve, slider, and a change. Lance out of a stretch, a look back at Gonzalez, and the strike 2 pitch to Ramirez, call strike 3, and down he goes. So the Dodgers do get a run, but they also leave a runner in scoring position. And at the end of an inning, Dodgers 1, Cardinals 0. leading the Cardinals 1-0. One thing about this booth tonight, this is the smartest baseball booth in all of baseball, because sitting directly behind me taking in the ball game are two of the greatest managers we've ever seen, and that would be Tony La Russa and Joe Torre. So, I mean, we've got some thinking going on here in the booth. Meanwhile, we'll watch the players, and it's Alan Craig taking off the plate, ball one, 1-0. Craig hitting .305, 20 home runs, 76 runs batted in. Josh Beckett comes right back off speed, slow breaking ball at 69 miles an hour for a strike and a 1-1 count. What in the world has been going on in the National League wild card race? Here's the 1-1 pitch on the way, fastball up and in, ball two. When the Dodgers lost to Arizona last night, the four top National League wild card contenders, that means Atlanta, the Cardinals, Los Angeles, and Pittsburgh, had lost collectively 15 consecutive games. Here's the 2-1 pitch on the way, fouled at the plate, and the count 2-2. I mean, the front four, Atlanta, Cardinals, Dodgers, and Pittsburgh, was so slow that last year's division champions, Philadelphia and Milwaukee, woke up finally, and Tuesday of this week, they finally got to the 500 level, and they're very much in it. The 2-2 pitch, high chopper up the middle. Ellis behind the bag, has to re-grip and throw him out. Craig not too fast going down the line, and we have one away. Nice play by Mark. And the batter now will be Yadier Molina. Every time I look up on the board, I see a Cardinal hitting 300. So far, Molina now, he checks in at 315. 18 home runs, 65 runs batted in. It started with John Jay. He came into the game hitting 316. Little job squirted up along first going foul. So Jay, 316. Matt Carpenter, 305. Matt Holliday, 301. Alan Craig, 305. Then you get to Yadier Molina. He's hitting 315. How does this team lose? Well, they have found a way. 0-1 the count. Beckett rocks ready and comes back. Little breaking ball down and away. 1 ball and 1 strike. Yadier Molina, who owes a great deal to his father. The catcher rolls one to the left of short, under the glove of Hanley Ramirez, and on out into center field. So Molina will add to his 315 batting average. Ramirez going to his left, couldn't quite get the leather on it, and it winds up in center field. So a 1-out single, and Carlos Beltran coming up. Carlos Beltran, a multi-talented player, but he's been banged up all year. He brings a .260 batting average, 29 home runs, and 87 runs batted in. However, for Beltran, since the All-Star break, he's hitting .209. That is not the Beltran we've known for years. Left-hand hitter waiting. Beckett ready, too much time, and time will be called at the plate. Carlos Beltran, a superstar out of Puerto Rico. 3 straight gold gloves, originally signed by the Royals all the way back in 1995. Beltran waits, looks at a pitch way off the plate, ball 1. Switch hitter, batting left-handed, 6'1", 205. Beltran celebrated his 35th birthday. Boy, he put up some years. 6 years ago for the Mets, 41 home runs and 116 runs batted in. So that's the kind of talent he has. He looks at a pitch that misses, and he has the count his way. 2 balls and no strikes. Beltran, signed by the Royals, had a good career with them from 98 through 04. 1 brief year with the Astros. Then he had 5 years with the Mets. Left them to go to the minors and came back for 2 more. then last year with the Giants. Of course, when Carlos first signed with the Royals, he was immediately their minor league player of the year. And then the next year, it was the American League Rookie of the Year. 2-0 pitch on the way, and Beltran looks. It's on the corner for a strike, and the count 2-1. Cardinals, like the Dodgers, came in here having lost 3 straight and 6 of 7. Cardinals also have lost 11 of 15. 2-1 pitch on the way, and that's a strike, and the count 2-2. For Beltran, and looking at his numbers as a switch hitter, he has struck out 111 times, and he's walked about half of that. 2-2 pitch coming up, 1 out, second inning, 1-0 Dodgers. Beckett at the belt deals, and this one's off the plate. A lot of slow stuff, and the count 3-2. For Beltran, with his 29 home runs, 21 of them hit left-handed. So with a full count, 1 out, Molina at first and Schumacher on deck. The 3-2 pitch coming up. Swung on, foul back, so Beltran is still there. Beltran, despite the fact that he's been banged up, has appeared in 135 games for the Cardinals. He won 3 straight Gold Gloves. He can do it all, or at least he used to be able to do it all. 3-2. They were not running Molina with 1 out. Beckett very careful, deliberate, delivers, and is a one-hopper right by Mark Ellis into right field for a base hit. So 2 ground balls that seem to avoid the Dodger leather. One gets by Hanley Ramirez, and the other a one-hopper blistered and got on by Mark Ellis. So the Cardinals now have runners at first and second with 1 out. So both balls well hit, but at the same time, you had the thought that both balls might have been fielded. Skip hitting .289. He has a home run, 26 runs batted in. Pretty much of a contact hitter. He's only struck out 44 times. Cruz about even with the bag at third, and Beckett in trouble delivers, and it's in the dirt, blocked nicely by A.J. Ellis. Dodgers have won 4 of the 7 from the Cardinals, winning 3 in a row here. In fact, the last time we saw Lance Lynn, he was not involved in the decision, but that was a game where Lance Berkman tied it up with a home run in the top of the 9th, and the Dodgers won it in the bottom of the 9th when A.J. Ellis walked with the bases loaded. The 1-0 pitch on the way. Line drive, base hit into left field. Victorino up with it, whirls to get it back in. Scoring easily is Molina. Holding at second is Beltran. And just like that, we have a 1-1 tie. Well, line drive, single to left, and a run batted in. So that's 3 straight hits. And of course, Ramirez and Ellis thinking how near and yet how far. So 3 straight hits with 1 out. And now Daniel Descalso, the shortstop, hitting .224. He has 4 home runs, 21 runs batted in. 2 on, 1 out, and Lance Lynn on deck. Beckett in some trouble, checking the runners, very deliberate, now to the plate, and the big breaking ball misses down and in. 1 ball and no strikes to Daniel Descanso. David Freese is a little banged up. He twisted his ankle, but in a 4-game series, the chances are we will certainly see Freese. 1 ball and no strikes. The next one, a big rainbow curveball that drops in only 78 miles an hour. Descalso is from San Carlos, California. Went to University of California, Davis, 5th round pick. San Carlos maybe 25 miles from AT&T Park up north. Beltran at second. Schumacher at first. 1 out, 1 in, and a 1-1 tie. Next pitch fouled at the plate, and the count 1-2. DeSalsco, even though he grew up so near AT&T Park, he was a rabid Oakland A's fan. His family had season tickets to the A's. He was a second baseman on Team USA in 2009 when it won the gold medal at the World Cup. They put a nickname on him early in his career, Dirty Dan. He's one of those very active players. His uniform is usually very dirty by the end of the game. 2 on, 1 out, 1 in, 1-1 second inning. Beckett at the belt. Josh Reddy, right-handed, deals another off-speed pitch high. That was a straight 75-mile-an-hour change, and he's 2-2. So 1 run, 3 hits for the Cardinals consecutive here in the second inning. 1 run, 2 hits for the Dodgers. 1 out. Dodgers were burned last night with 2 out. They gave up 2 walks and 2 singles and lost the game. 2-2 pitch on the way. Descalzo pops it up. Third baseman Luis Cruz settles under it. The infield fly rule is called. So the shortstop pops it up. 2 down, and Lance Lynn coming up. Lance at 6'5", among other things, brings up a nice strike zone for you. He does have 3 hits, 1 RBI, but he strikes out a lot. Strikes out about 75% of the time. He does have 1 run batted in. So Beckett looks at him as an escape hatch here with 2 down and John Jay on deck. Lynn late on the first pitch, a 91-mile-an-hour fastball, and the count 0-1. Craig grounded out. 3 straight singles get the Birds even. 1-1 in the second inning. Beckett again set, ready, and deals, and the fastball a little high. Tried to check his swing, but unable to do it. And Kerwin Danley rings strike. So 0-2 the count to Lance Lynn. 1-1 tie, second inning. Beckett another look back at second. A long look. Now the right-hander deals, and that's strike 3 called, and that'll do it. However, 3 hits also do it. 1 maddeningly eluding Hanley Ramirez, another Mark Ellis, and a clean base hit got it in. 1-1.
To look forward to Miller time later in tonight's game. Brought to you by Miller Lite.
1-1 tie as we go to the bottom of the second inning. Dodgers will have Shane Victorino followed by Luis Cruz and then A.J. Ellis. So the Dodgers got a run as Gonzalez doubled in Mark Ellis after Matt Kemp had hit into a double play. Cardinals came back on 3 singles. Schumacher's single sent Molina home to tie it up. So here is Shane Victorino facing Lance Lynn. Lynn made 17 pitches and, as usual, had trouble in the first inning. So Victorino hitting .257, 10 home runs, 51 runs batted in. Boy, he made a marvelous play last night, crashing into the left field wall to handle a long fly ball to left, and then having the presence of mind and the quickness of body to catch the ball and fire it accurately and hard to Hanley Ramirez in left field. Ramirez fired to first, and that doubled up Miguel Montero. There is a delay. We're waiting for plate umpire Doug Eddings. They had to leave. Now here comes Doug. So Eddings, who's been umpiring 14 years, interesting note in his career, he was the home plate umpire for Cal Ripken Jr.'s last major league game. That was October 6, 2001. If not an umpire, Doug says he would have been a Secret Service agent. All right, 1-1, second inning, and here's Victorino. Lynn's pitch bunted up along third, charging Carpenter, throw in time, and a nice pick at first by Alan Craig. That wasn't an easy play. He almost had to catch it on the top of Shane Victorino's head. So a good bunt, and Carpenter makes a big league play. That off-balance throw and a good catch at first. One away, and here's Luis Cruz coming up. Cruz is hitting .303, but better than that. With runners in scoring position and less than 2 outs, he is hitting a breathtaking .600. He takes a look at a pitch off the plate, ball 1. However, you change it, runners in scoring position and 2 outs, and he's hitting just .133. 1 ball and no strikes. Cruz fouls it back. 1-1 the count. And of course, in some ways, and a microcosm, Luis Cruz sums up what's happening to the Dodgers. With runners in scoring position, the Dodgers are hitting .303 with less than 2 outs. With 2 outs, they're hitting just .190. 1-1 pitch, a chopper wide at third. Nice pick by Carpenter on the run to throw him out. And we have 2 down here in the second inning. And that'll bring up A.J. Ellis. It was May the 18th when A.J. Ellis walked with the bases loaded in the bottom of the 9th. Dodgers pulled out that game to beat the Cardinals. That was the same series where Lance Berkman, playing first base, apparently just stretched, that's all, just stretched to handle a throw. Nothing dynamic. He didn't split like a pair of scissors. He just stretched, but hurt his knee, and Berkman is finished for the year now. He's having surgery. Rafael Furcal, from the looks of things, is also sidelined. Though the Cardinals missing 2 very, very important parts of the machine. Strike 1 pitch, sprayed foul down the right field line, and the count 0-2. Good crowd on hand tonight with fleece blanket night here at Dodger Stadium. They're estimating somewhere high up in the high 40s to 50,000. And a good reason and a very good series. A 4-game series with the Cardinals. Strike 2 pitch, fastball is swung on and missed. That was clocked at 96 according to the gun. And down goes Ellis. And at the end of 2, a 1-1 tie. Josh Beckett coming off a tough second inning. He made 26 pitches. Meanwhile, Lance Lynn has gone the other way. He made 17 pitches in the first inning, and Lynn breezed through the second, making only 7. That's got to be maddening if you're Lynn. All year long, his earned run average in the first inning is over 8. I bet he's tried to do everything. Warm up extra, warm up less, warm up a different time. Hadn't paid off. We can tell you the Phillies are leading the Astros 4-3, top of the 8th. And the first pitch to John Jay is off the plate, ball 1. Jay with the busy bat, grounded out in the first inning. The 1-0 pitch on the way, swung on and fouled back. Of course, anytime you've been to Dodger Stadium and saw him play, and then you see a hitter with a busy bat, you automatically think of Gary Sheffield. Somehow would waggle that bat and catch up to 95-mile-an-hour fastball. There's a comebacker, easily handled by Beckett. And just like that, one away here in the third. You know, the Dodgers' 2013 preliminary schedule has just been released. It's now available online. It's highlighted by opening day with the Giants and some great interleague opponents like the Yankees, the Red Sox, and the Angels. Season and mini plan packages will be available soon. To learn about your ticket choices for next year, visit Dodgers.com/season tickets. Matt Carpenter takes a strike. Carpenter handled himself very well on the bunt by Victorino and the ground ball by Cruz in the second inning. Matt played right field in the last game, almost gets hit by a pitch. In fact, Carpenter was hit by a batted ball while in the on-deck circle, but a bruise, nothing more, and he's right back in action. Hitting .304. 1-1 the count to Matt. Beckett looks down the barrel to get a sign. Third inning, 1-1 tie, and the pitch off the plate. 2-1 the count to Matt Carpenter. Chris Carpenter, the famous pitcher, just threw 70 pitches while having the pleasure of eating some candy and watching the ball game. The 2-1 pitch on the way, and that's in there. Chris Carpenter, whom they sorely miss. It's questionable that Chris will come back. Maybe if they keep giving him sunflower seeds, he'll be back. But he came away from thoracic surgery, and they never thought that he'd even throw a ball this year. But he's close. 2-2 pitch fouled away. And before the game today, there was Carpenter running the steps up and down. So he's a remarkable player, Cy Young Award winner. Had Tommy John surgery 5 years ago. Won 21 games for the Cardinals 1 year. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Matt Carpenter, and that's strike 3 called. The Carpenter walks away empty-handed. 2 out in the third inning. That would be the second strikeout for Josh Beckett, and Matt Holliday coming up. Holliday just got under the ball, hit a towering fly ball to straightaway center. Matt hitting .300, 26 home runs, 94 runs batted in, and as we told you, he was hitting .350 against Beckett coming into the game, and takes high, ball 1. 1-0 to Matt, 26 home runs, 94 runs batted in. Holliday was a marvelous high school quarterback. Here's the 1-0 pitch on the way, and that's a little low, ball 2. 1997, they say he was rated the second best high school quarterback in the country. But they don't drop the other shoe. They don't tell me who was the first. Well, maybe if you look back to that year, you'd find out. There's a ground ball to the hole, backhanded by Ramirez on the money to first. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Josh Beckett. And at the end of 2.5 innings, we have a 1-1 tie. The Cardinals had 3 consecutive singles by Molina, Beltran, and Schumacher for their run. Dodgers had Mark Ellis single and score on a 2-out double by Adrian Gonzalez. So now in the bottom of the third, it will be Josh Beckett, Mark Ellis, and Andre Ethier. Lance Lynn toes right on the edge, the first base side of the rubber. And the big right-hander's first pitch off the plate at 93. 1 ball and no strikes. We're watching that Phillies game very closely. They're leading the Astros 4-3 in the 8th. Pitch is high, ball 2. The Phillies have a 4-game series with the Astros, and the Astros could very well go over the 100 loss mark. They've lost 98 going into that game tonight. The 2-0 pitch in for a strike, 2-1. The Milwaukee Brewers, who have won 18 out of 23, will start a 3-game weekend set at home with the fading New York Mets. 2-1 fastball in there, 2-2. The Pirates, meanwhile, are in Chicago to play 3 starting tomorrow, and they have suddenly fallen apart. Remember, at one time, the Pirates were playing Super Bowl. 2-2 pitch foul back. Once upon a time, the Pirates were 16 games above 500. Right now, they are 9-23, only 2 games over 500. And remember, for Pittsburgh, it has to be bitter because they haven't had a winning season since 1992. 2-2 the count to Beckett, and he promptly bangs it into right field. Charging Beltran, throws to first, and got him. Carlos Beltran fields a one-hopper in right field and nails Beckett before he can get to first base. Haven't seen that in a long, long time where it actually worked. Can't remember the players involved, but I know it was in Pittsburgh where Carl Perillo nailed a pitcher the same way. Base hit to right field, or at least you think it's a base hit. It is not a base hit, of course, and Beckett is thrown out 9-3, the usual ground ball. So 1 away, and here is Mark Ellis, the single to right field in the first inning. So Ellis single, scored the run. We're 1-1, bottom of the third, and the fastball in there. 0-1. Lance Lynn and Josh Beckett in game 1 of the 4-game series. Joe Kelly and Chris Capuano tomorrow night. Here's the strike 1 pitch, and that's another strike. Jaime Garcia and Joe Blanton would be Saturday night. And then Sunday afternoon, the General, Adam Wainwright, will go up against Clayton Kershaw. There's the General looking on as is Kershaw. Strike 2 pitch high and away, ball 1, 1-2. The Cardinals are missing one of their better pitchers. That would be Jake Westbrook. The 1-2 pitch inside at the kneecaps. Jake Westbrook, a fine pitcher, a sinker baller who had won 13. But Westbrook is out. He's like Trevor Cahill. In fact, he was the #1 sinker baller in the National League. Westbrook getting 73% of his outs on ground ball. 2-2 pitch is a crack bat, little roller. Carpenter on the dead run, throws and got him. Another nice play by Matt Carpenter as a crack bat roller, and he's able to recover, slanting behind the mound, and makes the play. So he made a wonderful play on a good bunt by Victorino. Makes a terrific play now on Mark Ellis. So he's had 4 tough chances down there at third base, and he's 4 for 4. So here is Andre Ethier, who walked in the first inning. We have a 1-1 tie, 2 out, bottom of the third. Lance Lynn delivers, change in there for a strike. 0-1 the count. If Lynn is working a good game, his sinker is very effective. His problems of late, they say, the sinker has not worked well against left-hand batters. Strike one pitch, ground ball to the right side. Schumacher is on it. That'll be that. So thanks to a dazzling play by Matt Carpenter and that great throw by Carlos Beltran, it's a 1-2-3 inning and 1-1 at the end of 3. And embarrassed Josh Beckett after hitting one cleanly into right field, only to have Carlos Beltran nail him. Beltran sitting back, resting on his laurels. Alan Craig, meanwhile, Yadier Molina and Carlos Beltran coming up. Slider away, ball 1. Craig grounded out in the second inning. It was a nice play by Mark Ellis. Allen didn't look like he could run too fast. And a fly ball to deep left field, and it's Victorino. For Craig, fly ball 1 out. Yadier Molina coming up. Molina singled to center in the second inning, and that triggered it because it was followed by Beltran single and then Schumacher single to pick him up and tie up the game. Molina, among other things, and of course Tony La Russa is here in the booth taking in the ball game. It was 2 years ago. Ground ball, base hit up the middle. Yadier Molina caught all 20 innings of a game the Cardinals lost 2-1 to the Mets. He went 3 for 9, drove in the only run in the ball game, and then the next night came right back and caught 9 more innings. And Tony said he wasn't tired at all. And if you want to talk about catchers to Tony La Russa, he'll tell you Molina's the best he ever saw. So Yadier is 2 for 2, and here's Carlos Beltran. Under the hands, ball 1. One run, 4 hits for the Cardinals. 1 run, 2 hits for the Dodgers. Talking about fine catchers, if we swung the camera around into the Cardinal dugout and took a picture of Mike Matheny, He was quite a catcher in his day. Among other things, Mike holds the Major League catching record for consecutive errorless games, 252. And there's even more. 2 balls, no strikes. And ball 3. Also, for consecutive errorless chances, 1,565. Mike won 4 Gold Gloves. And now he has a catcher who has won 4 consecutive Gold Gloves. Matheny did it in 2000, then 03, 4, and 5. That's in there, 3-1. Yadier Molina is enjoying a great career. Mike Matheny, remember, suffered concussions from all the foul balls in the mask, had severe headaches and had to hang it up. 3-1 the count to Carlos Beltran. 1-1 tie in the 4th. Fouled away. 3-2. Well, when you look at Beltran's numbers, he has struck out 111 times. Yadier Molina is a good base runner. He has stolen 11 out of 13. So let's see whether they're going to run him or not. 3-2. Molina not going, and it is ball 4. So Beckett does not want to repeat for the West Coast. In the 2nd inning, he got Craig and then gave up 3 singles. Here in the 4th, he gets Craig, and now he's given up a single and a walk. And Skip Schumacher coming up. Schumacher single to left field. Drove in the run. Schumacher batting .291. And ball 1. So Beckett is fighting it now. Beckett facing a local boy. Ryan Wheeler's from Torrance. We saw him in Arizona. Skip Schumacher's from Torrance and makes his home in Laguna Niguel. He went to UC Santa Barbara. 1 ball and no strikes. 2 on, 1 out, 1-1, 4th inning. 1-1. Schumacher started his college career locally at Loyola Marymount, and then he transferred to UCSB. Like so many of the players we mentioned earlier about Molina's father, but it seems like just about every player has come under tremendous influence from his father as to playing this game. Skip says he got his work ethics from his dad Wayne. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-2. Wayne would get up every morning at 4, leave for work at 5, drive about 90 minutes to work for the LA County Department of Beaches and Harbors in Marina del Rey. Then after work, he'd make the 65-mile drive back, getting home at about 7. And that was the grind for his dad, and it really impressed his son Skip. 1-2. And going to third is Molina on a base hit into left field. So Molina gets up, and he's held up, and he just got back to the bag. Molina instinctively, after leading what appeared to be either hit and run or double steal, and he was into third, got up ready to score, and the third base coach Jose Oquendo put the block on him. Otherwise Victorino would have nailed him. And Shane throwing to the bag at third, and Yadier just did get back. So Schumacher comes up with a hit and run single, and the bases are loaded. And the batter, Daniel Descalso, who you would think anyway is the weakest link in the Cardinal lineup. Seemed like every hitter in the lineup is hitting 300, and Dan is hitting 223. So Molina, Beltran, and Schumacher all out on the lines. 1 out. Beckett up to his hips and birds. And Descalso checking in. Left-hand batter. Going after a pitch up around the shoulders. 0-1 to count. 1 run, 5 hits for the Cardinals. 1 run, 2 hits for the Dodgers. Outfield straightaway. Victorino up some in a shallow left field. Descalso, in case you wondered, no grand slams. And that's going to go down the line foul. 0-2 the count. So Descalso up there in a very big spot. And he's in a hole now. No balls and 2 strikes. He popped up to Cruz in his first at bat. So Beckett with 1 out. And remember, he has the pitcher following. So this is a big at bat for Descalso. No balls and 2 strikes. And Beckett off the rubber. Now gets back on. No balls, 2 strikes. One and 2. Well, we always do it with a runner at third, so checking Beckett. He does not have a wild pitch or a balk. Molina, Beltran, Schumacher out there with 1 out. Descalso had 1 home run all last year. He has 4 this year. 2-2. So Beckett throwing sliders. He has not given Descalso the fastball you might expect. 2-2 the count. Descalso is about 5'10", maybe 190. So they're loaded, standing room only on the infield. We have a 1-1 tie here in the 4th. And down he goes. So Descalso, the weak link, strikes out. Bases remain loaded with 2 out. Going after a pitch in the dirt. I think he thought he had fouled it into the dirt, but there was no contact. Doug Eddings telling him. So Descalso in a big at bat strikes out. Lance Lynn struck out in the 2nd inning. 3 strikeouts for Beckett. And of course, that play at third base could get bigger and bigger and bigger. When Molina was stealing third, wound up on a base hit, just getting back to third. And he's still there with 2 out. 1 run, 5 hits. Good heads up throw by Victorino. Almost got him. Scurrying back to the bag. 1-1 the count. Here's the play again involving Molina. He takes off, slides into third, finds out it's a base hit, then is told by Akindo, get back, and he just did get back ahead of the tag by Cruz. So Victorino, who made a great play last night, crashing into the wall. Jose Akindo, who's got plenty of years, stopped his runner. And now 2 balls and 1 strike to count to Lance Lynn. Lynn hitting .070. He has 1 run batted in. 1-1 tie. Cardinals threatening to break it. And the count goes 2-2. In the inning with 1 out, Molina singled and Beltran walked. Then Schumacher got the base hit with the runners going to load him up. Descalso strikes out. That was a huge out. And now here's Lynn trying to help his cause. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, 3 on. Almost hit him, ball 3. So Beckett's pitch count now has gone up to 74. So this has been a 22 pitch inning for him. He already had a 26 inning pitch inning in the second. And on deck is John Jay. Mattingly sweating it out. 3-2. Runners go. Got it. So Beckett survived, going up against the numbers 8 and 9 hitters. Good play by Victorino. 3 left, and it's still 1-1. Receiver from AT&T UVerse. Visit AT&T.com/free your TV. Rethink possible. By El Pollo Loco, crazy you can taste. And by Time Warner Cable. We have a 1-1 tie as the Dodgers get off the hook in the top of the 4th inning. For Josh Beckett, he made 24 more pitches, so his pitch count is up to 76 in his 4 innings. Dodgers, meanwhile, will try to counter now with Matt Kemp, Adrian Gonzalez, and Manny Ramirez. By the way, in the bottom of the 8th inning, pinch hitter Jed Lowry of the Astros has just doubled in the tying and go-ahead runs in the bottom of the 8th. The Phillies at one time led 4-0, and the Astros are now leading 5-4 in the bottom of the 8th. Matt Kemp grounded into a double play in the 1st inning. Matt hitting .311 and strokes it to the gap. That's going to fall for a base hit. So Kemp single left. Now Gonzalez, Ramirez, and Victorino. Adrian Gonzalez came up with 2 out in the 1st inning. And Mark Ellis at 3rd, and he probably drove one into the gap. Despite a great effort by John Jay, the ball fell for a double, and Ellis came in to score. By the way, talking about coming in to score, Lowry is singled home, and the Astros are now leading the Phillies 6-4, bottom of the 8th, trying to snap the Phillies' 7-game winning streak. That's a strike to Adrian. (1-1), bottom of the 4th. One ball and 1 strike. 1 run, 5 hits, no errors. Cardinals have left 5. 1 run, 3 hits, no errors for the Dodgers. They have left 1. Matt Kemp Earlier, before all of the injuries, would be a definite threat to run. That Matt Kemp has stolen 9 out of 12. It is not the same Kemp running right now, but he can still motor, banged up or no. 2-1 the count. Gonzalez has driven in 98 runs this year and then picked up number 99 tonight. He had 86 in the American League, 13 so far for the Dodgers. 2-1. Ball 3. Waiting on deck, Hanley Ramirez. Lance Lynn, who was so good before the break, struggled so much after the break, they put him in the bullpen for 6 games. Now starting tonight. Little slicing pop foul down the line, out of play. So the Dodgers and the Cardinals can always think of some very valuable players who are unable to play. You know the Dodger list. And the Cardinals without people like Jake Westbrook and Chris Carpenter. And don't forget former Dodger shortstop Rafael Furcal. And on the Dodger rail, Chad Billingsley. We're going to find out about Kenley Jansen on the 17th. That'll be the travel day when the Dodgers go to Washington and Cincinnati. There goes the runner. Strike 3 at the plate. The throw down and the tag. And just like that, 2 out. So Yadier Molina nails Kemp, as Adrian Gonzalez usually will go after a high fastball, and this thing sailed up and away, and he strikes out. The tag on Kemp, pretty good try by Matt. He'll stick out his hand and then withdraw the left hand, and the tag went on his chin. So they got him. Nice try. So with 2 out, here's Hanley Ramirez, who struck out in the first inning. Pretty good fastball at 96, 0-1. Ramirez called out on strikes. Hanley has struck out 115 times. Andre Ethier 107. They're the 2 100 strikeout men in the Dodger lineup. Kind of a shock to see the Arizona ball club. They had a half a dozen fellas who have struck out over 100 times. 0-2 to Ramirez. Lance Lynn trying to win his 15th. And got him. So Ramirez caught looking again, strikes out twice. Great throw by Yadier Molina to nail Kemp, and we're still even 1-1. Will steals his 104th base of the season 10 days after breaking Ty Cobb's 47-year-old record for stolen bases in a season.
It turned out that every time I got on first base, 56,000 people were chanting, "Go, go, go." You could hear them all the way downtown L.A.
"50 years ago is a long time ago, but the mouse that roared, Maury Wills, put on a remarkable display that year. If I remember correctly, his legs were so beaten up, stealing 104 bases, that all of a sudden his mind told him, I don't want to slide anymore. And he had to get some counseling in order to get over that so that he could continue to slide. You know, amateur ball in college, for instance, we wore big sliding pads and we were fine. But in the big leagues, maybe a little underwear and that's it. And Will's legs were so beaten up that year, and yet he kept grinding them out. 1 ball and no strikes, they count to John Jay. A bunt, foul. 1-1. John Jay grounded to first, hit back to the box, 0 for 2. Made a great effort, but missed the double hit by Adrian Gonzalez that gave the Dodgers a run in the first inning. Ground ball, Adrian at the other end of it. 1 out in the 5th. Beckett now has made 78 pitches, and Matt Carpenter, who has made several good plays at third base, coming up. Matt Carpenter grounded to second, struck out, 0 for 2. 1 run, 5 hits for the Cardinals. 1 run, 3 hits for the Dodgers. Ball 1. One and 1. Beckett not throwing hard, an occasional 90-mile-an-hour fastball. A lot of off-speed stuff. Straight change with 75. And another off-speed pitch at 71. 1 and 2 the count. Two and 2. Always remember a young Dodger player asking the great Ted Williams about a problem. Williams said, "What's your problem?" And the young Dodger hitter said, "The changeup is just killing me." And Ted Williams looked at him and said, "Why do you swing at it?" "Well, because I'm not Ted Williams." 2 and 2. And the fastball at 90 takes care of him. 5 strikeouts for Josh Beckett. Don't forget, a reminder, catch all the action of this year's Major League Baseball postseason on Fox and TBS. Excitement begins October the 5th with the Wild Card on TBS. Here's Matt Holliday. Fly to center, grounded to short. Talking about the importance of the wild card, that's fouled. For the last 17 years of postseason play, wild card teams haven't had as much of a playoff schedule disadvantage as many felt they should have had. And in 5 of those years, including last year, a wild card has won the World Series. 5 of 17. Strike. So Beckett on a roll, strikes out 2, gives him a half a dozen, and we have 4.5 innings in the books and a 1-1 tie. 86 pitches, and Lance Lynn 47. But then again, Lynn still hasn't pitched the bottom of the 5th inning. Otherwise, 1-1, two tough pitchers in a very important game, especially now that the Astros have beaten Philadelphia 6-4. Shane Victorino, and a strike. So the way things shape up for Philadelphia, they get hurt no matter who wins this game. 0-1. 1-1 the count to Shane. Victorino tried to bunt his way aboard. This time slaps it into left field. Base hit. Holiday up with it. Shane holding. So now Victorino's presence will give Lynn something to think about, because Victorino has stolen 33 out of 39. One run, 5 hits for the Cardinals. 1 run, 4 hits for the Dodgers. Luis Cruz grounded to third in the 2nd inning. Cruz hitting .301, 4 home runs, 30 runs batted in. 0-1 the count. Cruz is well put together. He's 6'1", maybe 190. His father spent 18 years in the Mexican League and played with Fernando. And when Luis was 4 years old, he asked his dad, could I have my picture taken with the great Valenzuela? And years go by, and here he is playing, and Fernando's right up here talking about him. 0-2 the count. A.J. Ellis waiting on deck. 1 run, 5 hits for the Cardinals. 1 run, 4 hits for the Dodgers. Dodgers have left 1 man. That was in first base. Cardinals have left 5 in their 5 innings. 0-2 to Cruz. A.J. Ellis on deck. One and 2 the count. Sean Tollison gets up in the Dodger bullpen. So that makes you think that if they get a chance, they would hit for Beckett. Beckett made 86 pitches, and 86 is the usual cutoff number, isn't it? Fastball missed. 2-2. Rick Honeycutt talking to Beckett. Beckett certainly doesn't look like he has any plans to leave. We have a 1-1 tie, bottom of the 5th. Foul ball. The Cruz is still there, 2-2. Luis Cruz. He signed originally with the Boston Red Sox when he was 16 years old. And by the time he made it to the big leagues, it was 4 years ago with the Pirates. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Fastball got him. Sinker down and in. Good pitch. So Cruz strikes out. 5 strikeouts for Lance Lynn. Big man let that one fly. A.J. Ellis struck out in the 2nd inning, and Josh Beckett is out on deck. One of the amazing notes we had on the Dodgers of late, and we didn't use it tonight and just thought about it now, going all the way back to the 1st inning, Andre Ethier got a walk. And that reminded me, in looking at the scorebook, that's right. Going into this game, the Dodgers had 70 at-bats, 7-0, without a walk. That's a strike. 0-1. Mark Ellis standing on the steps. He was the last one to get the walk against Santiago Casilla of the Giants. Nice going, Scully. You're about 2 hours late with that. Meanwhile, fly ball, room service. That'll be the second out. Beltran right there as the ball came to him. And Beckett is going to stay in, and he'll be coming up. Remember Beckett in the third inning hit a shot into right field, and Beltran threw him out before he could get to first base. So a chasing Beckett went back to the dugout. Victorino with the pitcher at the plate. Doubtful he would go. In for a strike. Waiting on deck, Mark Ellis. 1-1 tie, bottom of the fifth. And another strike. 0-2. Lance Lynn. Big boy at 6'5", trying to win his 15. Trying to escape the bullpen and get back to being a starting pitcher. Foul ball into the stands. Among other things for Lance Lynn, usually the Cardinals score a lot of runs for him. In fact, he's first in the pitching department, most runs for support. A little more than 6 runs a game for him to help account for why he's won 14. Slider away, 1-2. And it's interesting, you talk about run support. It is so important. If you take the top 20 run support averages, 17 of the 20 starting pitchers have winning records. If you go to the bottom run support, 16 of 20 have losing records. And that will do it. So Beckett strikes out. They leave Victorino on a base hit. And at the end of 5, a 1-1 tie. A lot of runs. On this day in 1977, the Dodgers scored 18 runs to beat San Diego. In fact, they scored 8 runs in 1 inning. But how about Dusty Baker? He had 5 runs batted in 1 inning. He doubled in 2, and he also hit a 3-run home run in that 8-run inning. Now that's a ball game. Let's go back to this one.
First baseman, number 21, Alan Craig.
Still a 1-1 tie. Josh Beckett and Lance Lynn. Both teams well aware of the fact now that the Phillies have lost. So that takes a little bit of heat off the situation. The Phillies had won 7 straight. Milwaukee plays tomorrow. It also points up the fact we all make the mistake of saying, for instance, well, this club has a pretty easy schedule. It has 6 with this poor team and 3 with that poor team. And that's what they're saying about Philadelphia, I know. And instead, they immediately lose their first game against Houston. Slow breaking ball for a strike. Beckett really getting by, using the fastball occasionally, working on Alan Craig, who's hitting .304. 0-1. And a breaking ball, he got it up, and it's probably banged into left. Now let's see about Craig. He's going to go for 2. The throw is offline, and he's in there. Victorino throwing from the deep left field corner and just missed getting him. So Craig, who does not run that well, just does leg it into a double. Victorino hopping it into Ellis, just inside the bag, and so Craig with a leadoff double. So he's 1 for 3, half a dozen hits now for the Cardinals. Down in the Dodger bullpen, and what a story that will be if he comes in such an important game. Paco Rodriguez, the young left-hander who has faced 2 batters now in the big leagues and gotten them both, but they have him warming up. There are left-handers Schumacher and Descalso back-to-back in the Cardinal lineup. So here's Molina 2 for 2 trying to advance Craig. Slider away, ball 1. Josh Beckett is a very experienced and clutch pitcher. You know, in his career, he's thrown 3 complete game shutouts in the postseason. 1 ball and no strike. Yadier trying to go to right field, and a 1 ball, 1 strike count. Mordecai Brown and Whitey Ford, they would be tied with Beckett. Christy Mathewson had 4 complete game shutouts. All of those were in the World Series. And one of Beckett's shutouts was in the World Series for Florida at Yankee Stadium. 1-2 the count to Yadier Molina, hitting .318. 18 home runs, 65 runs batted in. Alan Craig opens up with a double. We're in the 6th inning in a 1-1 tie. Kemp shallow in center. Ethier pretty deep in right. And AJ out to the mound. Kemp, of course, has a half a dozen assists, making that tremendous throw in Arizona. Molina checking with a kendo. Craig a very short lead at second with a leadoff double. 1-2 the count. Just missed the inside corner. 2-2 the count. Boy, there was a lot of thought behind that pitch. Also the little discussion with A.J. Ellis. 2-2 to Molina. Fouled away. Molina, a very tough out, first of all. And number 2, he is a contact hitter. He has had just about 500 plate appearances, and he has struck out 50 times. 10%. Beckett trying to put him away. 2-2. Fastball pulled to short, and it hits the runner, and so he's done. So Alan Craig, first of all, violating a rule. With that ball hit to Ramirez, Alan Craig was going to be out one way or another. He should never have even thought about running. So it'll be a base hit for Yadier Molina, but a very, very bad base running play by Alan Craig. Give Ramirez the putout. Molina will take his third hit, but that's not the way he planned. So Craig goes back into the dugout, and here's Carlos Beltran, single to right and walk. 1-for-1. And ball one. Beltran's base hit sent Molina to second in the second inning, and then Schumacher drove him in with a base hit. Carlos, 29 home runs, 87 runs batted in. Off speed, 2-0. Beltran, as we said at the very start of the game, has been banged up, getting a little older, and since the All-Star break, hitting .209. That is not the Beltran we've known for all these years. So Molina at first with one out. Gets away. There goes Molina, and the throw not in time. So 3-0 the count to Beltran. We'll take another look. In the dirt, and it will be a wild pitch. So a runner at second with one out. Now they'll take the bat out of Beltran's hands. He'll be walked intentionally. And Skip Schumacher will be coming up, and he's 2 for 2. And here comes Don Mattingly. Schumacher, left-hand batter. You have Paco Rodriguez, the 21-year-old in the pen. Let's just wait and make sure that they're going to call Paco. So Mattingly to the mound. Takes the ball from Beckett. Here comes Paco. We'll be right back. Allowed one earned run, 98 pitches, 5 1/3 innings. And finally, after the double and the freak single for Molina when his ground ball hit Craig, the walk to Beltran, and they bring in Paco Rodriguez. Paco is 6'3", 215. He is 21 years old, went to the University of Florida. pitched in the College World Series Finals against South Carolina. 6'3", 215, and lives in Miami Beach. So he'll be facing Schumacher, who twice singled a left field. So the Cardinals left the bases loaded in the 4th inning when Descalso and Lynn struck out. Now they have 2 on, following a double and a single and the intentional walk. So 1-1, Cardinals with 7 hits. Big breaking ball for ball 1. Skip Schumacher facing Rodriguez, and Schumacher has been a money player for the Cardinals. First of all, he's 2 for 2 tonight. He singled Molina home in the 2nd inning, and he singled Molina to 3rd in the 4th inning. This year, with runners in scoring position, he's hitting .350. So he has Molina at 2nd. He has Beltran at 1st, 1 out. And remember, with that combination, they look like a double steal, only it turned out to be hit and run, and Schumacher singled a left. Victorino is shallow in left field. Fouled away. 1-1. So Victorino ready to charge a base hit to make a play on Molina at the plate. With Rodriguez pitching against Schumacher and Descalso on deck, and then they have Sean Tolleson, the right-hander, throwing in the Dodger bullpen. 1 ball and 1 strike. Another breaking ball off the plate. 2-1. And the fastball for a strike. He hits 91 on the gun. 2-2 the count to Skip Schumacher. 1-1, 6th inning. 1 out. And a line drive foul. If it was a fair ball, Cruz would have caught that. Sliced away from him, so Schumacher back up, another shot. That close. Still 2-2, immediately a meeting at the mound. Hanley Ramirez joining A.J. Ellis. Boy, it's a long way from facing South Carolina in the College World Series to be out in the middle of the diamond, about 50,000 people in a battle for the wild card. 2-2. Breaking ball, chopper to Adrian. They get 1, no further play. So a 3-6 force. Beltran is erased, and the batter will be Descalso.
Shortstop number 33, Daniel Descalso.
So 1st and 3rd, 2 out, and Daniel Descalso, who has been an out man to his chagrin. He came up with 2 on in the 2nd inning and popped up. Came up with the bases loaded and 1 out and struck out. So he's left 5. And you can imagine how he feels as he checks in, hitting .223. With runners in scoring position, just to complicate the world of Daniel Descalso, he's hitting .108. One-handed by Ellis, which brings up the point with a young left-hander like that, and a runner at 3rd. Of course, he hasn't pitched that much to even think about a wild pitch, but you can bet it's on Molina's mind. 1 ball and no strikes. Little roller foul, 1-1. Rodriguez the other night in Arizona was brought in to face Jason Kubel, the home run hitter, and he struck him out. Up in San Francisco, he was able to retire Brandon Belt. 1-1. And that dribbles away, but the runners hold. So Paco Rodriguez given a big assignment, and he got Schumacher. 2 balls and 1 strike. And a flare to left. Here comes Victorino, and they're out of the game. And of course, for the Cardinals, all they can think about is Rafael Furcal, where are you? No runs, 2 hits, 2 left. At the end of 5 1/2, a 1-1 tie. Of the 6th, we have a trivia question. You can't look at the Cardinals without possibly thinking about the great Stan Musial. So the question is, how many hits did Stan Musial have in his career? Stan the man, so revered in St. Louis that when Albert Pujols came to the Angels and they were saying El Hombre, and Pujols said, please, not the man. There's only one, the man. That was Stan Musial. Mark Ellis, Andre Ethier, and Matt Kemp in that order. And a strike. Stan Musial, among other things, when we get to talking about his total hits, it's remarkable. 0-2 the count. Ellis singled to right, scored a run, and was robbed of a hit on a fine play by Matt Carpenter. Ball 1. You know, when the game first started, maybe by the 2nd inning, we were looking at the Cardinal lineup, and I made a little observation about the fact they have so many 300 hitters. And for Those of you who might be looking for reasons why a team with so many 300 hitters could be struggling, the answer is the Cardinals have had trouble late in games, and especially in tight games, despite the 300s. That'll do it for Mark Ellis. 7 strikeouts now for Lance Lynn. 1 out. Andre Ethier coming up. And here's the list of 300 hitters, what they have done. In games that are tied after 7 innings, the Cardinal record is 3-12. In games that are tied after 8 innings, the Cardinals are 3-10. And in 1-run games on the road, they are 6-16. So Mike Matheny had headaches as a catcher. Imagine as the manager. There's also a base hit for Andre Ethier. For the Dodgers, 1 run, 5 hits, and here's Matt Kemp. Kemp grounded into a double play and single to left. The Cardinals, of course, have been their own worst enemies. They've left 7, and the guy who's really had his head down as far as production would be their shortstop, Daniel Descalso, who has popped up, struck out, flied out, failing to advance 7 runners. And of course, as we mentioned, it brings up the cry from St. Louis, where's Rafael Furcal? But he's done for the year. Ball 1 to Matt Kemp. Furcal was hitting .264. He had 5 home runs, 49 runs batted in, and batting right-handed, Furcal was hitting .284. So they missed him desperately. Edward Mujica, right-hander, used to be with San Diego in the Cardinal bullpen, warming up. 1-1 to Matt, hitting .313. Adrian Gonzalez on deck. 20 times since the 1st of August, the Dodgers have scored 3 runs or less. 20 games. Little foul, no play, back in the stands. 1-2 to Matt. Don't forget, this is just game 1 of what should be a dandy 4-game series. Tomorrow night, Joe Kelly and Chris Capuano. Saturday night, Jaime Garcia and Joe Blanton. Sunday afternoon, Adam Wainwright and Clayton Kershaw. Every pitch so important. Well, you have to look at the players. 2-2. So far, Lance Lynn has only made 73 pitches. Beckett made 98 and had to come out in the 6th inning. 2-2 to Matt. 1 out. Ethier at first. Little roller to third. Gobble there. Carpenter to second and the ball force. Not in time at first. Boy, that was a tough play. And Carpenter again makes a marvelous play to get Andre Ethier. Schumacher there to handle it. Slow roller. And you think you might lose the play at second. But he just did get it down. Schumacher's turn too late. Ball was not hit hard enough to get 2. So 2 out. Adrian Gonzalez doubled and struck out. Matt Kemp, to repeat, has 9 stolen bases, and they have to keep an eye on him. And ball 1. Last time up, you may remember, they were running Kemp. Gonzalez struck out, and Yadier Molina threw a strike to Descalso for the out. 1 ball and no strikes. As that high pitch Adrian's been going after that. I don't know what he did in Boston, but ever since he has come to the Dodgers, that pitch has given him a bad time. Invariably, it's up out of the strike zone. 1-1. Two and one. Of course, I assume that Adrian Gonzalez, are like most left-hand batters, they would much rather have the ball down. Two and one with two out. 1-1 tie, bottom of the sixth. Off the plate. 3-1 with Hanley Ramirez on deck. Now Ramirez has struck out twice, 0 for 2. Three and one to Adrian. Kemp a short lead, not going. Breaking ball is low for ball 4. Mike Matheny whistling to Yadier Molina to go to the mound. And let's see whether Dave Duncan will be coming out or whether Mike will come out with a hook. Matheny at the base of the stairs. That's Dave Duncan down below. All right, Molina looks over. Matheny's on the steps, but he's going to hold his ground. And Lynn will be facing Ramirez. Struck out in the first, struck out in the fourth. Slider in the dirt. Runners hold. 1 ball and no strikes. Hanley batting .250, 24 home runs, 86 runs batted in. Lance Lynn has now made 80 pitches. And 2 on, 2 out in a 1-1 tie. That's in there. 1-1. Hanley, who has struck out twice, has now struck out 116 times this year. Off speed, high fly ball into deep left center. Jay is calling at the wall. Hanley Ramirez misses hitting it out, and the Dodgers lead 2 in the 6th inning. And at the end of 6, a 1-1 tie. his career. 3,630, and only Musial could have numbers like that. Half of them were on the road and half of them were at home. Meanwhile, Shane Robinson is now going to come up and bat for Lance Lynn. 7th inning, 1-1, and Paco Rodriguez now is up to his hips in a ball game, and Lance Lynn comes out. So Rodriguez came in to get Descalso. Now he's on his own. 0-1 to count. Robinson is hitting .253. 2 home runs, 14 runs batted in. Oh and 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Shane Robinson, an outfielder, facing Paco. He's from Tampa, Florida. Went to school at Florida State. Cardinals drafted him in the 5th round 6 years ago. Off the plate. He was an all-state player at Tampa's Jesuit High School, then got a scholarship to Florida State. And at Florida State, believe it or not, he surpassed J.D. Drew's 34-game hitting streak. He had a streak of 40 games in college to pass J.D. 2-2. He is 5'9", 165 pounds. He does have 2 home runs. Back in May, his wife gave birth to their first child, so it's been a big year for him already. Ball 3. Shane signed by the Cardinals in 06, had a cup of coffee in 09, again in 11, and now trying to stick this year. 3-2. Foul back. We're in the 7th and a 1-1 tie. In the Dodger bullpen, Ronald Belisario begins to heat up. Among other things, Rodriguez would be number 4 hitter for the Dodgers in the bottom of the 7th. 3-2. And ball 4. Now in the minor leagues, Shane Robinson is stolen base high of 16, but considering the fact he's 5'9", you have to believe one reason he got to the big leagues is speed. So they have somebody who can run, and now they have John Jay at the plate. Jay hitting .313, 4 home runs. And if you wonder about Jay bunting, he has sacrificed 8 times, so the Dodgers look bunt. And the bunt's in the air. It will be Paco. So the sacrifice is wasted. 1 out. Matt Carpenter coming up. A reminder, bring the kids to Dodger Stadium Sunday. Dodgers Cardinals 1:10. That will be Adam Wainwright, Clayton Kershaw. After the game, all kids 14 and under invited down to the field and run the bases. For more information, go to Dodgers.com/promotions. So Robinson at first with 1 out. And Matt Carpenter. After Carpenter, you get to the right-hand hitters, so it could be this is Rodriguez's last batter, maybe. One out and a strike. Carpenter grounded to second, struck out twice, going 0 for 3 against Beckett. Asking Oquendo to go over the signs again. Matt's made 4 of 5 nice plays at third base. 0-1. Nice save by Ellis. Dodgers scored a run in the first inning. They had first and second, nobody out. Kemp hit into a double play, but Gonzalez doubled in Mark Ellis, who was at third. Cardinals, with one out, had 3 straight singles for a run in the second inning. The Cardinals have had a lot of opportunities and have not been able to do anything with them. They have left 7. 1-1. And there's a shot up the middle for a base hit. Robinson will not run on Matt Kemp. So, of course, immediately, if you're a Cardinal, you say to yourself, well, if Jay had gotten the bunt down, etc., etc., but he didn't. Carpenter is now 1 for 4. And let's see. I didn't think that he'd be allowed to face the right-handers. So with Matt Holliday and Alan Craig and Yadier Molina lined up 1, 2, 3, Mattingly will come and get him. Ronald Belisario coming out of the Dodger bullpen, and we will be right back. Is at first and second, 1 out, and Matt Holliday to be the batter. Paco Rodriguez made 11 pitches before coming out. And in looking at Belisario's work, first man up is Matt Holliday, and Holliday in the past 0 for 3 against him. Then Alan Craig, and he's 0 for 1. 1-1 tie, 7th inning. Cardinals threatening again. Holliday batting .299, and it's whacked to center, but right at Kemp. It took off. Wow. That was like a 2-iron, a low line drive that almost took off over Matt Kemp's head. Though Holliday certainly wasn't cheated. Look at Matt coming in, and then whoop. And the runners hold. So 1 pitch, 1 out. That's all that Belisario cares about. Matt Holliday goes 0 for 4. Runners at first and second, 2 out, and Alan Craig. Craig grounded to second, flied to left, and doubled to left, and then made a base running mistake on the ground ball to short by Molina. He should have been retreating to the bag. Instead, he was hit by the ground ball. He was out. That gave Molina a single, but nothing worked for the Cards. Strike. Craig hitting .305 with runners in scoring position and less than 2 outs. He's hitting .511 with runners in scoring position and 2 outs. He's hitting .286. So boy, the number of outs makes a world of difference for just about all the hitters. 1-1. You walk up with less than 2 outs, you have the luxury of saying, well, I'm not going to end the inning unless I hit into a double play. All the pressure's on the pitcher. But then you come up there with 2 outs, and it's up to you. 1-1. Wanted to swing, decided not to. Takes a strike. 1-2 to count to Alan Craig. Alan Craig, another local boy from Mission Viejo, went to University of California, Berkeley. 1-2. Fouled away. When they first signed Alan Craig, the Cardinals, the brass, felt that he was a little heavy. They challenged him to lose a few pounds, and he lost about 15. How did he do it? Well, he took a lot of batting practice at batting cages near his home, but they charged him $15 for 10 minutes. Said it cost him over $300, but that's how he lost some weight, and here he is in the big leagues. 1-2. And hit to the hole and finds the hole and gets through. The run will score. The throw to third is not in time, and it is 2-1 St. Louis. So Alan Craig, you talk about a ground ball that has eyes, and that's an old baseball expression. This thing just got by a diving Gonzalez and just got by a diving Ellis. And the run scores brought in by Robinson, with Carpenter just beating Ethier's throw. So 2-1 St. Louis on the clutch single by the man from Mission Viejo. Now the batter is Yadier Molina. That run is charged to Paco Rodriguez. Molina singled to center twice and was credited with a base hit when his ground ball hit Craig. Little nubber down to get it, Belisario, and that's that. However, for the Cardinals, they break through. Jane Robinson's walk is cashed in, and it's 2-1 St. Louis. busy with getting people on base. However, they've been unable to hit in sync. So despite the fact that they're in a one-run game, it's the Cardinals who have the chance to break it wide open. The Dodger pitching has been the difference to hold the Cardinals back. And it's up to the Dodgers now to do some work against Edward Mujica. You might remember Mujica came up and pitched briefly with the Padres for about 2 years, also with the Marlins. He was originally drafted by the Cleveland Indians back in 2001. He's from Venezuela. He's 6'2", 220, and he's 28 years old. From Valencia, Venezuela. For the Dodgers, Shane Victorino. Ball one. So Lance Lynn went 6 and allowed just 1 run and 5 hits. That's a strike. Josh Beckett went 5 1/3, allowed 1 run and 7 hits. For the moment, Paco Rodriguez could be the losing pitcher unless the Dodgers get off the deck here. 1-2 the count. Mujica has certainly been around. Signed about 9 years ago. Played with the Indians, then the Padres, Marlins, and Cardinals. And Shane going after a bad ball and strikes out. So 1 out in the 7th, and the batter will be Louis Cruz. Say, what better way to win the regular season than for the Dodgers to meet the Giants for the last 3 games? They'll be at Dodger Stadium October 1 through the 3rd by going to Dodgers.com/tickets. Rodriguez allowed the run, charged with it on that walk to Robinson, and the base hit by Carpenter. And then Alan Craig single to right to drive in Robinson against Belisario, and that's the difference. 0-2. Bottom of the 7th, 2-1 Cardinals. Matt Guerrier begins to loosen up in the Dodger bullpen. If they get to Belisario's spot, of course, they would bat for him. 1 out. Ground ball wide to third. Carpenter drops it, picks it up, throws too late. The Dodgers get a break. Matt Carpenter has been playing so well at third until that ground ball. So it'll be an error, and the Dodgers have the tying run aboard. D. Gordon will now run for him. So Cruz reaches on the error by Carpenter. Dodgers get a big break. Now, D. Gordon, remember, appeared as a pinch runner in Arizona and never did get a chance to steal. We'll see what happens now. And of course, you have the great Yadier Molina behind the plate. Bobby Abreu comes out on deck. So Matt Carpenter makes an error. That would be his 9th error of the year. And the Dodgers trying to hold on to that break with 1 out. A.J. Ellis, usually a very patient hitter, gets deep in the count. And if you've been following the Dodgers all year, you know that Ellis has his share of walks. He's walked 62 times. All eyes on Gordon. There he goes. Yadier Molina throws an arrow down there to get him. Whoa, what a throw. Yadier Molina threw a blur. You couldn't throw a baseball any better. And the tag in time. Skip Schumacher takes the runner, holds on to the ball, and then goes back. What a great play by Molina. And a chopper down to Schumacher, and just like that, the inning's over. So the Dodgers run Gordon, and Yadier Molina, as good as they come, nails him, and it's 2-1 St. Louis. Go to the 8th inning, and we are just starting in what should be a wildly exciting 4-game series. Tomorrow night, Joe Kelly, 5-6 against Chris Capuano. And remember, Chris started the year 9-2, so they've caught up to him a little bit, although he was brilliant last time out. So it's Kelly and Capuano tomorrow night. Capuano ready to make his 30th start, and for Joe Kelly, his 16th. Then Saturday night, Jaime Garcia and Joe Blanton. Sunday afternoon, Adam Wainwright and Clayton Kershaw, as Blanton leans on the railing alongside Aaron Harang. 8th inning, 2-1 Cardinals, and Carlos Beltran will lead it off. At third base, Nick Punto has taken over when Cruz went out for the runner. Boy, was Yadier Molina excited after that great throw he made on Gordon. Wow. There was nothing nonchalant about, well, I figured to get him. No, he was jumping around. Big play. 2 runs, 9 hits for the Cardinals have wasted so many opportunities. For the Dodgers, 1 run, 5 hits. And that's going to be hooked into right field, at least for a base hit. And Beltran jogging into second, and he'll make it standing up. So Beltran, a leadoff double in the 8th inning. And the batter, Skip Schumacher. So that's the 10th hit for the Cardinals. Cardinals were retired in the 1st inning, in the 3rd inning, and in the 5th inning. But every other inning, it's been standing room only. 10 hits, including 2 doubles. Schumacher listening to Jose Aquindo. Down in the Dodger bullpen, Randy Choate will get up, because you have the left-hand hitting Descalso on deck. Cardinals wondering about Schumacher bunting. He is 2 for 3. Ball 1. Schumacher has sacrificed 3 times. Cardinals tried to sacrifice in the 7th inning, And John Jay popped the bunt up. 1-0. Schumacher hitting .293, 1 home run, 27 runs batted in. Dodgers scored in the first. Cardinals scored in the second. Cardinals get a run in the seventh to lead 2-1. And we're now in the eighth. One ball and 1 strike. 1-2. So Carlos Beltran singled in the second inning, walked twice and doubled. So Beltran, with all of his aches and pains, so far a perfect night. Plus a single, a double, 2 walks, and he fielded a base hit and turned it into an out against Josh Beckett. That's Beltran. One ball and 2 strikes. And a fly ball. Victorino is there. So Schumacher can't advance, and the batter will be Descalso. And of course, for Daniel Descalso, this has been an offensive nightmare for him. He came up with the bases loaded in the second inning and popped up. He came up in the 4th inning and struck out with men on. And he came up in the 6th inning with 2 men on and fly to left. So he has another chance to drive in a run. And a strike. Dan hitting .222. He has 4 home runs, 21 runs batted in. And of course, trying to fill a big pair of shoes of Rafael Furcal. David Freese, with a sore ankle, is out on deck. 1 ball, 1 strike. One out, 8th inning, 2-1 St. Louis. And a fly ball into deep center, but Matt Kemp chasing it, makes the catch. Tagging up, moving over to third is Beltran. Wonderful play by Matt Kemp. So Descalso really gave that thing a ride. And for a moment it looked like it was going to make up for all of his frustration, and Kemp makes the play. Boy, that's big league all the way. And then Beltran tagged up and goes to third. So Matt makes a huge play. And now let's see about David Freese. So Descalso, frustrated, goes back into the dugout. Freese waiting at the plate, hitting .297 and ball 1. If I remember the story, what happened was Freese was playing third, slow roller behind the mound, and as he cut across to make the play, he twisted his ankle. A very good player, hitting .297 with 19 home runs, and a standout in the postseason last year. That's a strike. And ball 2. Two and 1 to count. And ball 3. You have the leadoff man John Jay out on deck. David Freese the MVP in the World Series last year from Corpus Christi, Texas. And a strike. So 3-2 the count. Freese, good size, 6'2", 220. Originally signed by the Padres back in 2006. He was a catcher out of South Alabama. Beltran at third, 2 out. And a broken back ground ball to short. A bounce throw. Wow. I don't know if the bat distracted Hanley Ramirez or not, but he bounced it. But it is Matt Kemp, the hero for the moment, to keep it Cardinals 2, Dodgers 1. Plays tonight, but there's an electrifying play with Yadier Molina somehow getting rid of the ball, throwing a blur down to Schumacher, and the excitable Molina makes a highlight play and then takes fives and a couple of hugs in the dugout. It was a huge play. Molina hit Wainwright on the bill of the cap, and Adam acted like he was going to go down. Well, let's see. As Wainwright, who will pitch Sunday, looks on, Bobby Abreu will now come off the bench and face Mitchell Boggs. Two to 1 favor the Cardinals, bottom of the 8th. Mitchell Boggs out of Dalton, Georgia. Went to the University of Georgia. Ball 1 to Abreu. Bobby Abreu, 6 hits as a pinch hitter and 2 runs batted in. With the Dodgers for 70 some odd games, opted to stay in the organization, went to Albuquerque, and then part of the call up. 1 ball and no strike. A hopper and a nice play by Schumacher, 1 away. So Abreu hits it sharply to the second baseman. And the batter will be Mark Ellis. Mark Ellis led off the Dodger game in the bottom of the first inning with a single to right and came home on the double by Adrian Gonzalez. He was robbed of a hit on a nice play by Matt Carpenter in the third, and he struck out in the 6th. Adrian Gonzalez driving in the only run for the Dodgers, and again that points up the fact since the 1st of August the Dodgers have played 20 games where they've scored 3 runs or less. 0-1. Little slider missing. 1 ball, 1 strike. Mitchell Boggs, drafted in the 5th round out of the University of Georgia. He's 28, 6'3", 210. Fastball, chopper to short, nice big hop. 2 down. And the batter will be Andre Ethier. Mitchell Boggs was a very good athlete in college. He really wanted to play football. He had committed to a baseball scholarship at the University of Georgia, but he had regrets. Transferred to the University of Tennessee in Chattanooga to play football. Played 3 games as a quarterback and probably thought, why am I here? And went back to Georgia to play baseball, and he's now in the big leagues. Ball 1. Mitchell Boggs with 64 innings tucked under his belt. In case you're wondering, has allowed 5 home runs. Jason Mott begins to warm up in the Cardinal bullpen. High fly ball, but playable. John Jay is there. So a very quick 8th inning, and the Dodgers go 1-2-3. And at the end of 8, 2-1 St. Louis. Ninth inning, and Randy Choate, since there are left-handers John Jay and Matt Carpenter coming up, Choate will be asked to get those 2, and then perhaps the Dodgers would go right back to the bullpen again, because you have the right-hand hitters Holiday, Craig, and Molina. So Choate asked to get 2 outs here in the 9th inning. In his 71st game, John Jay grounded to first, hit back to the box, grounded to first, tried to sacrifice, and popped the bunt up. So he's 0 for 4 in the leadoff role. We were talking about the Cardinals earlier, about how in the world can a team with so many 300 hitters lose so much. 1-run games on the road, they are 6-16. And when they got a go-ahead run in the 7th inning, they avoided that note. When they're tied after 7, they were 3-12. So John Jay with Punto playing on the edge of the grass, and a strike. Jay, good running speed, a threat to bunt, although Gonzalez plays back. 1-1. John Jay on their current road trip has just 2 hits in 18 at bats. Two and 1. 3-1. What kind of a problem would he present if he gets aboard? Jay has stolen 17 out of 21, and Matt Carpenter hitting back of him. And look out now, Rabbit is loose. So Jay at first on the walk. Carpenter has grounded out, struck out twice, and singled to center. Made an error in the 7th inning, but that was when Gordon tried to steal and Yadier Molina just shot him down. So Carpenter checking to see if there's a bunt on or whatever. Matt does not have a sacrifice, however, this year. Figuring that Choate would only face the 2 left-hand batters, Matt Holliday is on deck, so they get Brandon League up in the Dodger bullpen. And the bunt is down. The play, or they're going to call it foul ball. So Carpenter will come back, see if he can try it again. No balls and 1 strike. It's always tough, it seems, to ask a man to do something that he has not done all year. He's been in 100 games without ever having a sacrifice. Two runs, 10 hits for the Cardinals, 1 run, 5 hits for the Dodgers. 0-1. Fake, he's off the rubber. Dodgers thoroughly frustrated just looking through the book. Since the first inning, they have not had a man to second base. And we're in the 9th. Well, they're certainly worried about John Jay, and well, they should be. 17 out of 21. In case you missed it, Philadelphia blew a 4-0 lead, and the Astros beat them. High chopper over the mound. The only play is to first, so that's as good as a sacrifice. And Jay advances to second. So now let's see, with Matt Holliday coming up, Brandon League in the pen, you would assume they would then bring the right-hand pitcher in to face Holliday, Craig, and Molina. Everybody's waiting to see if Don Mattingly will make a move. And what they're going to do from the looks of it is walk Holliday intentionally. Yep. So Choate will stay in, and he will walk Holliday. Then Alan Craig will be coming up, and we'll see about League facing Craig. Craig, and one reason perhaps why they're doing this, Craig has grounded into 11 double plays. That's not high. David Freese has grounded into 17, and Matt Holliday 15. But the Dodgers setting up for the double play with 1 out in the 9th inning. Holliday, by the way, was 0 for 4 last time up. Hit a line drive that almost took off over Matt Kemp's head. All right, now with first and second, here comes Mattingly.
First baseman, number 21.
And Brandon League will be called in to replace Randy Choate. Dodgers calling on a sinker baller to get him out of a jam with a double play, and we'll be right back. Walks Holiday, first and second, 1 out, and they'll bring in League to go up against Alan Craig. One of the things about Alan Craig, we told you he grounded into 11 double plays. However, with runners in scoring position and less than 2 outs, and we have 1 out here, he's batting .511. So Jay and Holiday on the bases and 1 out. Strike. 0-1. Craig grounded out, fly to left, double to left, single to right. Nice save by Ellis. You figure going to be sliders and sinkers trying to get Craig to hit the ball on the ground. John Jay at second, Matt Holliday at first. One ball, 1 strike. 2-1 Cardinals, top of the 9th, 1 away. Two and 1. Didn't expect that pitch up and in. 95 miles an hour. Then again, trying to make sure Craig doesn't keep looking for the ball down. And ground ball. They're going to get 1. They are going to get 2. So it worked out perfectly, bringing in a sinker ball pitcher, and Craig hits into the double play. So here come the Dodgers, bottom of the 9th. Kemp, Gonzalez, Ramirez, 2-1 St. Louis. 1 lead, and they bring in Jason Mott to try and shut down the Dodgers. Jason Mott, 4-4. He has 33 saves. The big numbers: 16 walks, 71 strikeouts, and the other only 42 hits allowed in 62 innings. He was a catcher. He went to Iona College in New Rochelle, New York, and he was drafted as a catcher. And everyone marveled at his arm, but he was content to be a catcher. And in the Midwest League 9 years ago, he had 47 assists in 48 games as a catcher, and everybody kept talking about the arm. And finally, he made it as a big league pitcher, and here he is. And here is Matt Kemp, hit into a double play, single to left, hit into a force play, and a strike. Jason Mott, in his time on the mound, has paid the price. 9 home runs in 62 innings. Four of the 9 home runs hit by the number 3 hitter in the lineup. 1-1 to Matt Kemp. Matt batting .312, 18 home runs, 56 runs batted in. Ground ball slowly, Carpenter cutting in front to make the play. So Matt Kemp grounds out, 1 down in the 9th, and the batter will be Adrian Gonzalez.
Adrian Gonzalez.
Last night, the Dodgers had the same combo against Arizona in the 9th. Kemp, Gonzalez, and Ramirez, and they were shut down. So here's Adrian, doubled in the only Dodger run in the first inning. That was the last time the Dodgers got a man to second base. Since then, he has struck out and walked. Ball 1. Two runs, 10 hits for the Cards, 1 run, 5 hits for the Dodgers. Foul back. 1-1 the count. Two and 1 the count. Crowd of 43,309. And popped in the air, coming down from third is Carpenter, calling and foul ground, and makes the catch. So Kemp grounded out. Gonzalez fouls out. And with 2 down, with his foot in the door, Hanley Ramirez. Hanley Ramirez had a tough night, struck out in the first, struck out in the 4th, almost hit one out in the 6th inning. A long fly ball. John Jay caught it on the track in center. Ball 1. So the Dodgers down to their last out. Ramirez is 0 for 3 in the past against Jason Mott. 2-0. for the Cardinals. Could they hold on? The Dodgers would trail by 2. Pittsburgh would trail by 3. And Philadelphia will cool off and trail by 4. Well, there's a drive in the gap to left center. It's going to go to the base of the wall. And Hanley is into second with a stand-up double. And the Dodgers are still alive as Shane Victorino is coming up. So Hanley Ramirez hits the base of the left center field wall for a 2-out double. The first Dodger to get to second base since the first inning. And here is Victorino. Victorino going up against Jason Mott. He is 1 for 7. The one was a home run. Victorino batting .257 with 10 home runs, 51 runs batted in. Victorino tonight tried to bunt for a base hit and was thrown out. Led off the 4th with a single and struck out in the 7th. So it has come down to this: 2-out tying run at second and the crowd on its feet. And ball 1. On deck, Nick Punto. One ball and no strike. That's a strike. Jason Mott, basically a 4-seam fastball and a 2-seamer. A fair slider curve. He also has a cutter. If you're a left-hand hitter, you might get that. 1-1. Ball 2. Jason Mott, as we mentioned, walked 16 and struck out 71. Well, better than 4-1. 2-1 to Shane. And a strike. Jason Mott has blown 6 saves. He started the inning. He has allowed only 3 of 16 inherited runners to score. 2-2. Hit foul down the line. Don't forget, game 2 of 4 tomorrow night. It'll be Joe Kelly and Chris Capuano. Saturday night, Jaime Garcia and Joe Blanton. Sunday afternoon, Adam Wainwright and Clayton Kershaw. Deuces wild, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. A runner at second and Hanley Ramirez, and the Cardinals leading 2-1. Jason Mott taking a little breather, walking out on the grass. Mott from Port Huron, Michigan, but lives in Tennessee. 30 years old. 2-2 to Victorino. High fly ball, shallow left, Matt Holliday, and the Cardinals hang on and win it. Dodgers leave Hanley Ramirez at second base, and not to rub it in, but it's just getting to drive the Dodgers crazy. 21 games now since August 1 where they've scored 3 runs or less as they flail away and score just 1. That last pitch that Shane Victorino lifted to left field came up there at 98 miles an hour. So the Cardinals 2 runs, 10 hits, 1 error, and the Dodgers 1 run, 6 hits, and no errors. The Dodgers now trail the Cardinals by 2 games in the wild card. 3 more in this series starting tomorrow night. Stay tuned for Dodgers Live coming up next. Good night, everybody.